Sit down. Get over here and
Abel,
sit
sit
down.
down. Somebody keeps touching it.
We'll be in Genesis chapter 22. Genesis chapter 22. I was going through the services, one question I want to ask, it fits into the little lesson today, but how is it to walk by faith and not by sight? How is it to walk by faith, not by sight?
Well, it can be scary at times.
Yeah, I can. Exactly.
By sight, we see a lot of distractions.
Yeah. Yep.
It's when you get something wrong with you and you don't know what's gonna happen, but you believe that God's got this.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I think we're very limited
Yeah.
if we're going by sight because
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's not, sometimes there's nothing to be able to see or take in physically.
Yes, sir. And you know, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sometimes our eyes deceive us.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, have you noticed how, with our human understanding, God's ways seem the complete opposite?
Yes.
Because if we look at it, walk by faith, not by sight. Sounds the most ridiculous thing anybody could say. If I was to, blindfold everybody and tell y'all, all right, see y'all Wednesday. Okay? It almost seems like, okay, well, we've got to see. We've got to be able to comprehend. But for a child of God to walk by faith, that's when our faith can grow. That's when we start realizing if we have truly, kind of bring this in there, if we are truly being a disciple of God, is if we walk by faith, not only by sight.
Well,
Okay?
what happens if you're blind?
You should have gotten on him a lot better, a lot worse. No, I mean, I don't know. I've never been that way, but you have to have a level. Well, you don't have to, but it's good for a child of God to have a level of faith that is always growing. So in Genesis chapter 22, starting in verse 11, the account is that Abraham has taken Lot. He's gone up into a mountain in Moriah, and we know that this is where God is testing Abraham, testing where his faith is, testing where his faith in God is that he is going to offer up his son Isaac. Okay, so so before we get to verse 11, Abraham goes up there. We know that Isaac asks, God, Father, we have the wood, we have everything ready, but yet we don't have a sacrifice. And of course, Abraham says, God will provide a sacrifice. Okay, so verse 11 it says, "And the angel of the Lord, as Abraham, a couple of verses before, as Abraham, he has the knife, he's about to kill his son. The angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah Jireh, as it is to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. Now, God provides. We know that. But Abraham's whole mindset was, in his mind, Isaac was already dead. He had already given up Isaac. He was about to kill his only son because God had told him to do that.
Do you think that Isaac heard the angel as well, laying there?
I don't know. I really haven't given it any thought, really. Because I mostly, looked at Abraham. But
Because that
I
would,
think, my own personal opinion, I think no. But I think it was a good teaching point for Abraham because out of this, Isaac knew. Isaac learned from this, but
Exactly,
me
you know,
personal,
but, you know, if
yeah,
Isaac could have heard it, he would have known then that his father was willing to do, you know, setting an example,
I see where you come from.
you know.
Mhm.
More than likely, Abraham probably, you know, he bound him up, I'm sure,
Yeah.
laid him there, close your eyes,
Yeah.
think happy thoughts, I don't know,
Right,
you know?
right.
But,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, I just don't know either, you know, it doesn't say, but
Yeah.
I would think that that would be just as much of an example for Isaac as it would for him if he did hear say, hurt not that boy, you know? And then he would, of course, I'm sure it's already running through his mind that I'm fixing to die.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just makes me think that but Isaac is a good picture of Jesus because he's not a little bitty kid where Abraham can just manhandle him and
Yeah,
he's obedient to his father. So that, wow.
Yeah.
Ding, got another
And
aha.
to take it one step further from Elsa, you know, when Jesus went to the cross, he didn't say anything. He didn't fight. So Isaac is a type.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Didn't have this in my notes, but that's awesome. Go ahead, yeah.
I think that's another reason why I kept talking about your only son,
Mhm.
Right.
your
Yeah.
only son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, where I was coming from, that's good. I like that. I like how that can happen.
Spiderweb.
No, it's good. It's good. No, if you look at let's see, if you look at verse 12, okay, angel said, "Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God." This word "know." Now, there is a word in the Bible. The word "know" can mean to know something. Okay, as intellectually. That is, gnosko. I think it is. Don't normally use the Greek, but anyway. But this one, in verse 12, it means to learn, to know by experience. Okay? So, we look at, okay, God knows everything. He's all knowing. Okay? But God knows, but yet we still have free will to choose to follow God, to not choose to follow God. God knows what we're going to choose, but ultimately we still have the choice to do it. Here we see that God, yes, knew what Abraham was going to do, but here in verse 12, he says, by experience, I'm walking along beside you, and I have seen you do this. Okay, so it's kind of my point is, kind of going a little bit more with the discipleship thing is, we can be all for, all right, I'm going to follow God. We can tell people, hey, I'm going to follow God this week. We can tell lost people, hey, I want to follow God. I'm trying to follow God. But until we do it, that's when it really means something. Abraham could have said all the live long day, hey, yeah, I'm going to sacrifice my son. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. But until he put forth the effort, he bound up Isaac, he put him there, he got the knife, he was, in his mind, in Abraham's mind, Isaac was already given up to God. And God knows by experience and walks along beside us. Now that brings up, in my mind, that brings up a whole bunch of piece of when I'm going through things, when I'm trying to live by faith and not by sight, God is living there, walking beside me and seeing this. When I'm going through trials and tribulations and things that we all go through, God walks beside us and experiences our decisions, our worshiping, our trying to be and do what God would have us to do. And yes, very much so. You know, out of this, Abraham's faith was increased. And I think everything that we go through, we've talked about this before, but everything that we go through should encourage and strengthen our faith if we allow it to be done. And yet God learns by experience as far as him walking along beside us. And of course, we have the Holy Spirit, the one that walks beside us, the one that is the comforter, that goes along, walks along, helps us. And he walks and he learns it in through real time. But he still knows what we're going to do. But we need to be encouraged by this, by Abraham, and in this whole account is that let's go all the way in. Let's, if we're going to follow God, let's do it.
Amen.
Yes, it's going to take day in, day out. But, y'all brought this up, which I think is great. But, with Isaac, my goodness. Why Isaac was able to follow God was because he saw his dad doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had a good example. Because he had that not only that example, but that experience. And I guess kind of just wrapping everything up, but that's what we need in our churches, of encouraging one another. Through a saved child of God, that brother-sister relationship that we have through church people. That's what we can encourage each other to strengthen our faith as we're walking. Because that's the thing that I think, to me, it encourages me that I'm not the only one trying to live by faith, not by sight.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there may be others that might say, hey, it may seem bad, but it's going to be okay. It may seem that we are, that our eyes and our focus gets off of God, but we can get it back on God. We can, encourage each other to do that. Okay. Anybody have anything?
Well, I think your second definition of know there is a two-way street.
Yeah.
In that we get to know, God gets to know us in our decision-making
Yeah.
processes and how that faith grows. But we also get to know Him and His faithfulness.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, because Abraham was able to see God providing. And I think that's a good point, Ms. Janet. No, walking by faith, not by sight. There are a lot of times that we don't see the good that comes out of.
Right.
And yet that hope and that faith takes over of, I may not see it, but I know God's going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I know He's going to use it. But I think there's sometimes, Ms. Janet, that we as children of God need to see that to encourage us. Because God knows how human we are.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, man, there's a lot of times where I've tried to live by faith and not by sight, and I've been scared out of my wits.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I believe that God does, in some circumstances, kind of help us, walk us along, I guess. As we do kids, train them, get them, walk them. But,
Well, you were talking about us and being patient. It's a good thing that God is more patient with us than we are with
yeah.
others.
Yeah, for sure.
Abraham's a good example of living before our children the way that we should, because it's like Lot. He was living a sinful life, even though he was a child of God. And then when he tried to do something with him, they laughed at him.
Right.
And it's so important in our homes that we are the same as we are on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we need to be more real at church.
Mm-hmm.
I think the greatest compliment that a kid could give their parent is they're the same no matter where they're at.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Consistency. Yep.
I have a question.
Always be mean.
My question is more academic than anything.
Mhm.
So, and Mom, step in if you feel led to do so, because she's the Old Testament guru.
There we go.
So, my question is this. So, God provided the ram. Wasn't every sacrifice supposed to be without spot or blemish? So, essentially, God provided the perfect sacrifice even in this time,
Right.
in this situation. I mean, yes, he was caught in the thicket, but the ram wasn't supposed to have spot or blemish in order to be sacrificed, right? So
With it being caught in the thing.
I think it was by the horns, yeah.
Yeah.
But that just adds another layer of what God provides is always perfect for us, you know? And what God provides for me, that's perfect for me, might not be perfect for you,
Yeah,
but it's perfect for me in that situation I'm in.
yeah.
So-
Well, and he knows exactly what time, the perfect time
Right.
to bring it.
Just adds a whole nother
Yeah.
layer of God's perfectness that I've never thought about.
Yeah, I like that.
He saying that, if he really, think about the fact that Isaac made perfect,
Exactly.
he was considered just like anybody else was.
Right.
Probably a normal little teenage boy.
Yep.
Don't you know it was changed, like the dynamic was changed after this?
Oh, I
Oh,
guarantee you. It's like, don't go near dad no more. Yeah. Yeah. You wanna go fishing? No.
All right. Miss Tracy, had something she wanted to share?
Oh, are we done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.